Okay, so hey guys, welcome to Walsham Weekly. This week I am talking about a kind of sad topic, or I'm sort of just being a little bit of a philosopher. Um, I'm sort of just giving my take on happiness and quotation marks depression. I would just like to give a preface. One, I'm not a doctor. Two, I'm just some random kid from Auckland, New Zealand, with a podcast and an Instagram, Wonky Walshamy. Um, and I might have no idea what I'm talking about. I am purely talking from my own experience, and I am purely just talking about what I believe could be the case with many people. So, yeah, what I'm going to be talking about is basically sort of depression or unhappiness and unfulfillment in life with it among like teenagers and among young people. So, I'll start with my experience. So, my experience with, I guess, depression was a few years ago. I had tons of friends. I was doing all right, and this was back in high school. So, I had a good amount of friends. I don't think I was in a relationship. Oh, I was in and out of relationships over this time. Um, and I didn't have many reasons to be depressed. Like, I had good people supporting me, and I had goals, and I had all kinds of things. But then I was still very unhappy with my life, and I had absolutely no clue why, because I thought everything was perfect. But like looking back now, what I've realized is I had people in my life, but I didn't have quality people in my life. Like I didn't have like now I do have people where if I want to go and have a cry and be incredibly vulnerable, I can go and do that, and that's something that I prioritized after that period when I got out of that period and I realized, wow, I have no people that I can really go and just cry to. All those people, I've isolated those people, or so basically during this time I didn't really I also I thought I had goals, but I didn't really have goals. Like during this time I was incredibly sad. I'm gonna say it was probably about 6 months where I would like just it was such I was in like such a routine. I would go to school, get school done, like drag through school, and then there were times where I would like I remember there was this one time I was in class and I was literally like crying, just like the tiniest bit I was crying, but I was just like looking like I was just trying to pretend I was like doing my work, and I didn't even know why I was crying. I just felt isolated. I think it's just because I was lonely, I was surrounded by all these people, and that's quite a confusing thing because I was surrounded by all these people that I considered friends. I was sitting at a table with a bunch of my friends, and they weren't being rude to me. There was nothing going wrong. I just felt isolated. That might have been for many, many reasons, but yeah. So, another thing that, because ever since then, I've never really felt that way. Ever since, as dumb as it might sound, ever since I've started this thing, ever since Wonky Washami, ever since Washami, even since yeah, basically since that, because what it's sort of given me is it when you put all your thoughts out into the world, yeah, cool, you might go viral and you might make money from it and you might make it your career, but you sort of realize what your thoughts actually are, and you realize what your vision for life actually could be and should be, and you sort of realize how you can differentiate yourself from other people and how you can actually make yourself seem special, one, to yourself and to other people. Because never before in my life had have I like had people say to me such meaningful compliments about, wow, I admire the things that you're doing. And I think that's because right now I've got my vision. Maybe it's not incredibly clear and maybe it's not like super defined, but I'm working on something that isn't a usual thing. It's not something that every 18-year-old does, but it's something that I really like doing. And that brings me a huge amount of happiness because I feel like even with the small and like tiny amount of people that I do reach, when I am reaching people, I feel like I do reach them in a significant way, which is incredibly impactful. And I do think that if I'm getting these messages out, which I think give an impact, that makes me feel good about myself. But then one thing, when I look around, as Jason Malone would say, when I look around at society, okay, no, not Jason anymore, but when I sort of look around at other people my age, a lot of them don't know what they want, and they complain about their work and they complain about their friends. Like there's a few there's a decent amount that are just normal people and they enjoy their lives and they love their lives. But then the ones that really are just negative and they don't love the work they're doing and they complain when there's hard work. And it's I maybe like I don't know what they're feeling and I don't know why they're unhappy, but I feel like a lot of them don't enjoy what they're doing. And I've gotten to a point in my life where now I am enjoying my university degree. I'm not enjoying all of it, but I'm enjoying it. And this, I'm enjoying it. My like the work that I do for money, I don't really enjoy that, but the majority of the work and like the actual hard tasks that I'm doing, I am enjoying, and I feel like that brings me a lot of joy and brings me a lot of fulfillment. But I do think a lot of the people, like just random people that aren't completely happy with their lives, I feel like they are either lacking quality relationships, or I was just listening to a podcast about quality relationships actually, and they were saying how sort of to be happy you need quality relationships that are actually meaningful and build each other up, which I think is something that a lot of people, like I hate to say the like millennials, but like a lot of millennials aren't doing. A lot of millennials aren't in relationships, not just romantic relationships, but friendships where they build each other up. And I think that's quite a sad thing because I've made a huge effort in the last 6 months to sort of prioritize those relationships that do build me up. And like obviously my number of relationships has gone far down just because a lot of the relationships are just like, hey, let's hang out because I don't know what else to do or blah blah blah. Like, but then now the relationships that I am in, they are meaningful and we're not like they're there for a reason. But it's also like I think the majority of it is sort of just from my work. Now I've found like I feel like everything that I'm doing actually is practical and actually does have when it like maybe today I'm only reaching 10 people with this podcast and maybe only one of them will even listen to what I'm saying and won't just like have it as background noise, but that one person might listen and think, wow, that's absolutely amazing. I am going to go and make some meaningful relationships and find what I want to do. Now, like, it's all good and jolly me saying this, like saying, oh, blah, 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 from the perspectives of someone who I'm just an 18-year-old kid. Like, what do I know? I have zero life experience. I've only like traveled outside of the country with my family, like traveled alone once, like blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that's incredibly true. But I think that I do have a basis because like I listen to a lot of stuff like this. In my opinion, I think that if you don't, it's like the thing that scares me so much in life, especially because of who I am and my scoliosis and how like I don't know if I'm going to function in how many years. What really I think is something quite important is doing like the work that I'm doing. I want to actually have it be meaningful and like actually love it. And the way that I've done that is I found my passion. I found the thing that I actually care about. Maybe not the one thing, because I'm passionate about podcasting. I'm passionate about just blogging, about Instagramming, and about fitness and about podiatry, like all these kind of things that I didn't think I could even be passionate about. And I'm passionate about all these kind of things, but I've sort of found the things that make me happy. And the way I've done that is by putting myself out there. And like as Mo Samuel says, his sort of philosophy on this is confidence leads to success and success leads to confidence. So it's sort of a never-ending cycle. But what if you are at the stage where you have zero confidence and you have zero success? Then where do you go up? What you have to do is you have to just you have to sort of just gain fake confidence and go out and just do something that scares you, because by being scared you challenge yourself and then you get successful, and then that leads to confidence. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm probably like, I don't even know if this is making any sense, but sort of I think that a lot of the people that are unhappy nowadays, I think one, they are failing to sort of bring a positive attitude to wherever they go. Like I find an astounding amount of people that I talk to bring a negative attitude. Like they're like, I don't even know if it's just because I like they fail to bring a positive attitude, one, to conversations, and just two, to like life. Like they won't sort of, one thing that I found has completely changed. Like I tried to do this back when I was feeling like this, but I found it hard when I don't know if I was clinically depressed. I don't think I was, because the way I got out of it was just changing my whole life and changing the people in my life and changing a whole bunch of factors until something clicked. And that's what really got me into all this kind of stuff. And it's sort of why I want to do like podcasting. So it's like the hardest times really do bring the most. Completely forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so basically bringing a positive attitude. What I found positive attitude to every sort of relationship, every interaction, like, because I watched this video by this guy called Brendan Burchard, and basically what he said is how to bring the joy to every interaction, blah, blah, blah. He's like a very self-helpy kind of person, but it really did sort of, because it's like, he sort of explained how when you initially, say if you first say hello to someone, you say it with a smile, you say it happily, they're going to usually react in a positive way because people want to be happy. People don't want to like waddle around in life all sad unless that's their thing, unless they really want to be the sad, depressed guy. But no one really wants to be that. No one does. So I find like now I've realized if you literally just say hi to someone, have a great day after you buy a coffee off them, like, and you say, oh, blah, 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 what's it like working here? Just have a conversation with them. And then you say bye with a smile and like, have a great day, blah, blah, see you tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever, like, just tiny things like that really do, like, because I notice, okay, this is such a like 21st century thing to say, but it's like we're in the 21st century. We're so focused on our phones and we're just looking at that. And it's so easy to get into a routine just because, like, okay, once upon a time, we were gatherers and all that, and we lived fulfilling lives because we actually had to for survival, and I guarantee we were probably a lot happier back then. But nowadays, we don't need to. We don't need to do anything for survival. Literally, we don't need to go and gather. We have food at the fucking supermarket. Unless you're, like, homeless or, like, struggling real hard, then it's, like, that's not a huge priority for you. What's a priority for a lot of people now is having quote unquote fun, like fun in the weekend. And like a lot of people are living for the weekend, and it's like that's their time where they really turn on and they really try live life, you know? But it's like I think that's incredibly just I think it's just stupid, because you can either live your life 2 days a week, like, or I guess 2 nights a week, or maybe 3 if you want to include Thursdays. Like people go out on a Thursday in Auckland. Like, I don't think that's dumb to do, but it's like if that is the one time in your life where you are enjoying it, then I think something needs to change. And this is not the case for the most of people. And like, I'd like to go back to, who am I to say this? Because I'm just some random kid. I don't have life experience. Maybe I'm just like, I don't have the authority to say this, but this is just my thoughts and what I would like to get out. Like, my biggest fear is ending up living my life in such a routine that I'm not happy with. Like, if you like to live your life in a routine, great. I think that's super cool. But if you don't, then I think something needs to change. Because if you are just living your life in a way where you're not really happy and nothing is changing, you're not progressing, and you're not even like helping other people, then something like needs to change, or you're going to be unhappy forever. And it's like, you cannot blame anyone else. I think that's one of my biggest things that I learned from a young age, because I listened to No Excuses by Brian Tracy, and I was like, holy shit. Everything that happens in my life is because of myself. My scoliosis, cool. I didn't cause that, but there's this one quote. You don't cause your situation, but you are responsible. You are responsible for everything, every your reaction to that situation. So I could be like really just sad and mopey about my scoliosis, but I choose not to, because it's just, I don't see the benefit in it. There's really no benefit. So yeah, I think obviously depression is not a choice. It's not something you can just shrug off. Clinical depression, no. Like a lot of that you really do need, like, I guess the word is drugs to like sort that out, because it's like, it's a hormone imbalance. It's not something that you can easily sort out. And obviously as a teenager, you're going to have mood swings and you're going to have all that, and you're going to have shit days. But like, if I think every day is a shit day and all your friends are not people that excite you and motivate you and make you happy, then I think something needs to change. Yeah, coming from a random kid on the internet, but if you're listening to this and you're like, I'd prefer if people didn't listen and then they sort of resisted it. Like, if you listen to this, I'd like you to be open-minded and sort of assess your life in this way. Because for a long time, I thought I was happy. I thought I was just a happy kid. But I guess this is teenage years, like I was a teenager like a year ago, so well, I was like a real teenager. Now I like see myself as like kind of an adult 'cause I'm at university, but I'm still a little kid. Like the year twos at uni probably see me as a little kid just because it's like I'm still a little kid. Like I still live in my parents' house. It's like that is the only issue. But yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to cover. Or I guess cover. I was just like walking home, listening to a podcast, and it sort of like struck me that this was something that I wanted to sort of talk about because I don't know how this episode's going to go down because it's me being very opinionated and it's me giving my 2 cents on something that I'm not educated on. I haven't got a degree in this. I haven't got life experience on this. I have that 6 months of my life where I wasn't happy at all. It probably wasn't clinical depression, but like I was incredibly sad. Like I would go to work and I remember there was like a period of like a month where I would cry at work every weekend and I wouldn't let anyone see and I wouldn't let anyone try and like talk to me about it. And I didn't know why. And then I remember there was one day, there was this, my workmate, we were great friends. And that was one of the few things that was keeping me sane was this friendship. He said to me, it's like, hey man, a lot of the time you walk around like you're looking really depressed. Is that like just your resting face? And I was just like, yeah, it's just my resting face. And I like, but it's not. It was like at the time it wasn't because that was just my sad face because I was really sad and I was hurting. Because I don't think like I didn't have the meaningful relationships and I didn't have sort of a meaningful vision either. But I guess that is just a struggle of finding yourself as a teenager maybe. But I also think there's a lot of adults that don't have their vision, but I don't know, I don't talk to many adults, so yeah, that is also another thing that I gotta consider. Yeah, so I hope this isn't gonna go down too badly, but yeah, just a little rant. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Not the cheeriest little rant, not the cheeriest episode. I just ended off with I know, I'm just gonna tell some jokes for the last, minute or two. Okay, I've got some good jokes here. What did the podcaster say to their audience? Is anybody out there? I don't really get it, but who is a podcaster's best and only friend? Mike. What is the difference between a podcaster and a savings bond? One will mature. I don't particularly get that. What do you call a podcaster with an audience of one? Successful. What's the quickest way to a podcaster's heart? An iTunes review, guys. Thank you so much. Leave me an iTunes review. That would be the quickest way to my heart. I hope you guys do leave me a review on iTunes. Hope you guys have a lovely night. Go try something new or go be inspired. I don't know. Literally just go challenge yourself in some shape or form today. Yeah. If you don't, then in my opinion, it's a waste of a day. So yeah, go get out there, go get happy. Follow me on Instagram. Yep, sweet. Thank you guys for listening and have a great day.